There comes a moment in every life when comfort stops being a friend and starts becoming a prison. A moment when you can no longer blame your circumstances, your background, your timing, or the world around you. That moment is not far away. That moment is always now. Because the truth is simple, your life will not change when your dreams get bigger. Your life will change when your discipline gets stronger. Most people want a better life, but very few are willing to pay the price for it. They admire success, but they avoid the process. They love the idea of winning, but they hesitate when it comes to the grind. And that is where the separation begins. The grind is not glamorous. It is not loud. It does not announce itself with applause. The grind is waking up when you don't feel like it. The grind is doing the work when no one is watching. The grind is repeating the same actions again and again while others are searching for shortcuts. And here is a powerful truth. Success is never owned. It is rent-a-dan. The rent is due every single day. You do not get what you wish for. You get what you work for. And more importantly, you get what you consistently work for. Because consistency is the language of mastery. It is not talent alone that builds greatness. It is repetition. It is persistence. It is the refusal to quit when results are delayed. Look at the world around you. Most people are not failing because they are incapable. They are failing because they are inconsistent. One day they are motivated, the next day they are distracted. One week they are committed, the next week they are comfortable again. But the best do not rely on motivation. They rely on structure. They rely on habits. They rely on standards they refuse to break, even when they feel tired, even when they feel uncertain, even when nobody is watching. If you want to be the best, you must first become someone who does not negotiate with laziness. You must become someone who understands that every excuse you accept today becomes a limitation you live with tomorrow. Your future is not shaped in a single decision. It is shaped in thousands of small decisions. What time do you wake up? What you choose to study? What you choose to ignore? What you repeat daily? That is where your destiny is being written. And make no mistake, your competition is not out there. Your biggest competition is the version of you that wants to relax, delay, and settle. Grind is not punishment. Grind is privilege. It is the price you pay to become someone stronger than you were yesterday. Every drop of sweat, every hour of focus, every moment of discipline is an investment into a future that most people will only talk about but never reach. There will be days when you feel like stopping, days when progress feels invisible, days when your effort seems greater than your results. Those are the exact days that separate winners from wanderers. Because average people stop when it gets hard, but the best keep going until it gets meaningful. If you want to be the best, you cannot think like everyone else. You cannot operate like everyone else. You cannot quit like everyone else. You must build a mindset that says, I will do what is necessary, not what is convenient. And slowly, something powerful happens. What once felt hard becomes normal. What once felt impossible becomes familiar. What once felt like struggle becomes identity. That is how champions are made, not in comfort, but in repetition under pressure. So decide today, not tomorrow, not next week, today. Decide that you will grind when you feel like it, and especially when you don't. Decide that you will build even when nobody claps. Decide that you will improve even when nobody notices. Decide that you will rise even when it takes longer than expected. Because in the end, life rewards one thing above all: relentless consistency. It's time to grind, not someday, not later, now. And if you stay on that path long enough, you won't just become better than others who will become the best version of yourself. Discipline is the foundation upon which every meaningful achievement is built. It is not a single act of greatness, but a continuous commitment to structure, order, and self-control in everyday life. While many people rely on motivation to move forward, motivation is unpredictable. It rises and falls with emotions, circumstances, and external influence. Discipline, on the other hand, remains steady even when emotions fluctuate. It is what keeps a person moving in the right direction when enthusiasm fades and distractions become louder. A disciplined person does not wait for the perfect moment to act. They create structure in their life that guides their behavior regardless of how they feel. This structure becomes a personal system of rules that governs daily actions: when to wake up, how to use time effectively, what to prioritize, and what to avoid. Over time, these repeated actions form habits, and those habits begin to shape outcomes. Success is rarely the result of one powerful decision. It is the outcome of countless small, disciplined decisions repeated consistently. What makes discipline so powerful is that it removes chaos from life. Without discipline, life becomes reactive. A person reacts to emotions, to distractions, to temporary desires, and to external pressures. But with discipline, life becomes intentional. Every action has a purpose. Every hour has direction. Every effort contributes to a larger goal. This sense of direction creates clarity, and clarity leads to progress. Many people underestimate discipline because it often feels difficult in the beginning. It demands sacrifice of comfort, immediate pleasure, and shortcuts. However, what feels like a sacrifice today becomes freedom tomorrow. The ability to control your actions means you are no longer controlled by circumstances. You are no longer dependent on how you feel in the moment. Instead, you operate with a long-term vision in mind. Discipline also builds inner strength. Each time a person chooses effort over ease, focus over distraction, and persistence over quitting, they strengthen their character. This repeated choice gradually transforms identity. A person begins to see themselves not as someone who tries, but as someone who follows through. And this identity shift is powerful because people ultimately behave according to who they believe they are. Another important aspect of discipline is that it creates momentum. When disciplined actions are repeated daily, progress may feel slow at first, but over time it compounds. Small improvements stack on top of each other until they produce significant transformation. What once required effort eventually becomes natural. What once felt difficult eventually becomes routine. In the end, discipline is not about restriction, it is about alignment. It aligns actions with goals, habits with purpose, and time with intention. It is the quiet force that turns potential into reality. Those who master discipline gain control over their future, while those who ignore it remain dependent on chance and circumstance. Consistency is the hidden force behind every form of lasting success. It is often misunderstood because it does not produce immediate results. Yet it is the very quality that transforms average effort into extraordinary achievement over time. While many people are capable of strong effort for a short period, very few are able to maintain that effort steadily across days, months, and years. This is where the difference between potential and achievement is created. At its core, consistency means showing up repeatedly, regardless of mood, circumstances, or immediate outcomes. It is the commitment to continue even when progress feels slow or invisible. Many people stop not because they are incapable, but because they expect quick results. When those results do not appear instantly, they lose motivation and abandon the process. Consistency challenges this mindset by shifting focus away from instant gratification and toward long-term growth. What makes consistency so powerful is its ability to compound effort. A single action may seem small and insignificant on its own, but when repeated regularly, it creates momentum. Just like drops of water can eventually carve stone, repeated effort shapes skills, habits, and results. Every time a person practices a skill, studies a subject, or works toward a goal, they are adding to a foundation that becomes stronger over time. The results may not be visible immediately, but they are always accumulating beneath the surface. Consistency also builds reliability within a person's character. When someone consistently follows through on their commitments, they develop self-trust. They begin to believe in their ability to act regardless of external pressure. This self-trust becomes a powerful internal force that drives further action. Without consistency, confidence weakens because actions become unpredictable. With consistency, confidence strengthens because actions become dependable. Another important aspect of consistency is that it reduces the need for constant decision-making. Instead of relying on daily motivation or debating whether to take action, a consistent person operates on established routines and habits. This removes mental resistance and conserves energy for higher-level thinking and performance. Over time, discipline and consistency work together to create a lifestyle where progress becomes automatic rather than forced. Consistency also separates wishful thinking from real achievement. Many people have goals, dreams, and ideas, but only those who consistently act on them move closer to success. Talent alone is not enough if it is not supported by steady effort. In contrast, even moderate ability can produce outstanding results when combined with consistent practice and improvement. There is also a psychological strength that develops through consistency. Each repeated action reinforces identity. A person who consistently studies begins to see themselves as a learner. A person who consistently trains begins to see themselves as an athlete. This identity shift is powerful because people naturally act in alignment with who they believe they are. In the long run, consistency creates transformation not through intensity but through repetition. It turns small actions into habits, habits into systems, and systems into results. It is not about doing everything at once, it is about doing the right things repeatedly without stopping. Those who understand this principle gain a quiet but unstoppable advantage. because while others start and stop, they continue in, and that continuation lies true success. Struggle is an essential and unavoidable part of meaningful growth. It is often misunderstood as a sign of failure or lack of progress. But in reality, struggle is the environment in which strength, skill, and character are developed. Without resistance, there is no improvement. Without difficulty, there is no transformation. Every valuable achievement in life is shaped through a process that includes discomfort, uncertainty, and persistent effort. When a person begins working toward a significant goal, the early stages often feel challenging. Progress may be slow, mistakes may be frequent, and results may not appear immediately. This phase of struggle tests patience and commitment. Many people misinterpret this stage as a signal to stop, believing that difficulty means they are on the wrong path. However, struggle is not a warning sign, it is a confirmation that growth is taking place. Just as muscles must face resistance to become stronger, the mind and character must also face challenges to develop resilience. Struggle plays a critical role in building mental toughness. When a person continues forward despite difficulties, they begin to develop the ability to handle pressure, uncertainty, and setbacks. Each challenge overcome adds a layer of confidence and emotional strength. Over time, what once felt overwhelming becomes manageable, not because the challenges disappear, but because the individual becomes stronger. Another important aspect of struggle is that it reveals hidden potential. Many people are unaware of their true capabilities until they are pushed beyond their comfort zone. Comfort creates limitation, but struggle creates discovery. It is during difficult moments that individuals often realize they can endure more, learn faster, and adapt better than they previously believed. This realization expands self-belief and opens the door to higher levels of performance. Struggle also teaches patience and humility. Success that comes too easily often lacks depth and appreciation, but success earned through difficulty carries meaning and value. The process of working through challenges builds gratitude for progress and respect for effort. It also reduces arrogance because a person who has struggled understands the effort required behind every achievement, both their own and others. In addition, struggle develops problem-solving ability. When things do not go as planned, a person is forced to think differently, adapt strategies, and find new approaches. This constant adjustment strengthens creativity and resilience. Instead of relying on easy solutions, the mind becomes trained to find solutions under pressure. This skill becomes valuable in all areas of life, not just in the original goal. It is also important to understand that struggle is temporary, but its effects are permanent. The discomfort of growth eventually fades, but the strength gained remains. What feels difficult today becomes the foundation for future confidence and capability. Those who endure struggle often find themselves in positions of strength later, not because they avoided difficulty, but because they embraced it. Ultimately, struggle is not the opposite of success, it is the pathway to it. Every moment of difficulty is shaping discipline, building resilience, and refining ability. Those who accept struggle instead of resisting it move closer to their goals with each challenge they face. In this way, struggle becomes not something to fear, but something to respect, because within it lies the process of becoming stronger, wiser, and more capable than before. Every person's life is shaped not by one-time decisions, but by the accumulation of small, repeated choices made every single day. These choices may appear insignificant in the moment, but over time they form patterns, and those patterns become identity. What a person becomes is not defined by what they occasionally do, but by what they consistently choose when no one is watching and when no immediate reward is visible. Each day presents countless moments where a decision is required. The choice to wake up early or stay in bed, to focus or get distracted, to learn or waste time, to persist or give up. Individually, decisions may seem minor. However, when repeated over weeks, months, and years, they shape habits. And habits, once formed, begin to operate automatically, guiding behavior without requiring constant thought. In this way, life gradually moves in the direction of these repeated patterns. The power of small choices lies in their compounding effect. Just as small financial investments grow over time through compounding interest, small behavioral choices compound into major life outcomes. A person who chooses discipline in small actions daily slowly builds a life of order and progress. On the other hand, a person who repeatedly chooses comfort, delay, or distraction slowly builds a life of stagnation, even if those choices feel harmless in isolation. Identity is deeply connected to these repeated decisions. A person does not become successful by simply wishing for success. They become successful by acting in alignment with that identity repeatedly. Every disciplined choice reinforces the belief, I am someone who follows through. Every undisciplined choice weakens that belief. Over time, these reinforced beliefs shape how a person sees themselves and ultimately how they behave in future situations. What makes this principle powerful is that it places control in the present moment. The future is not built in a distant, unreachable place. It is built in the small decisions made right now. This means every individual has constant opportunities to change direction. A single choice may not transform a life instantly, but it can begin a chain reaction that leads to transformation over time. However, the challenge lies in awareness. Many people underestimate the importance of small decisions because the consequences are not immediate. This leads to neglect of daily discipline. But life does not change in sudden leaps. For most people, it changes through gradual accumulation. The direction of that accumulation is determined by the quality of everyday decisions. Another important aspect is responsibility. When individuals recognize that their life is shaped by their choices, they gain control over their future. Instead of blaming external circumstances, they begin to focus on what they can control: their actions, habits, and responses. This shift in mindset is powerful because it transforms a passive life into an active one. Ultimately, the person you become is being built continuously through the choices you make today. There is no neutral ground. Every decision either strengthens your future or weakens it. Every action either moves you closer to your ideal self or further away from it. Understanding this truth brings clarity and urgency to life because it reveals that greatness is not created in rare moments, but in the ordinary decisions repeated with intention, discipline, and awareness. In conclusion, life is not shaped by sudden events or rare moments of brilliance, but by the steady accumulation of small, intentional choices made every day. Each decision, no matter how simple it may seem, contributes to the direction of your future. Over time, these choices form habits, habits form character, and character determines destiny. This means that your present actions are constantly building the foundation of the person you are becoming. When you understand the power of your daily decisions, you begin to see life differently. You realize that waiting for the perfect moment is an illusion, because transformation is not found in a single moment, but in consistent effort across many moments. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, effort over ease, and purpose over delay, you are actively shaping a stronger version of yourself. Ultimately, success and failure are not sudden outcomes. They are the natural result of repeated patterns. The life you experience tomorrow is being created by the choices you make today. This understanding brings both responsibility and empowerment. Responsibility because you are accountable for your direction, and empowerment because you have the ability to change it at any moment through better choices. So the message is clear: respect your daily decisions, no matter how small they seem, because in those small moments lies the power to create a future of strength, growth, and fulfillment.